Hello and welcome to our latest Big UC Partner Update, where we discuss products and services coming down the line for partners. Today I'm delighted to be joined by Richard from Oak Innovation. Thanks for being with us today.
Hi Tom, it's great being with you.
Yeah, it's great to have you. So let's get straight into the conversation. To start with, could you talk through some of the biggest trends and challenges that are impacting your partners at the moment?
Yeah, sure. I think with the onset of COVID, we've seen a massive acceleration in the transition from on-prem PBXs to cloud telephony. And Oak have been around a long time, and a good proportion of our resellers were dependent on those on-prem CapEx sales. What they've done in the last few years, they've kind of realigned their portfolio towards cloud telephony. And the challenge that they have is migrating their existing customer base to cloud telephony and also giving them kind of parity on features. Teams, for example, is incredibly powerful solution, but they're fairly new to the telephony industry. And if you've got a customer using an Avaya system, for example, there's a great return on investment migrating that customer to Teams, but the challenge can be is how can they give them a like-for-like platform, or ideally, how can they exceed the features that they were using on their legacy platform with Teams? And to do that, they need to partner up with third parties that are offering these solutions. So we're obviously one of them in terms of call recording. But yeah, they're looking at their portfolio. It's all kind of happening quite quickly. It's all fairly new, and they're still working out who to partner with, who's got the best solutions, so that they can move these customers into a cloud age.
Okay, let's look specifically at Oak Innovation. Could you give us some insights into your product roadmap and what kind of features and benefits are coming down the line for partners?
Yeah, sure. So, 3 or 4 years ago, we were always intending to migrate our on-premise call recording platform called Clarify into a multi-tenanted cloud-based solution. With the accelerated transition to Teams and COVID, we kind of fast-tracked that. So we're now at a stage where we have a very successful, very scalable and reliable cloud-based call recording platform called Clarify Go. And that at the moment only integrates with Microsoft Teams. So, 70-80% of the development was getting a scalable cloud-based call recording platform. 30% of it was the integration to Teams. And now that's done, we really need to focus on expanding the integrations. So there are other very successful cloud-based solutions such as 8x8, Zoom, RingCentral. No offense if I've missed any. There are more than that, obviously, for any partners watching that might sell something different. And we'd like to be able to get Clarify Go as the de facto call recording cloud-based solution for customers using these platforms. So some examples of our development items coming up in the next year. We're looking at further development of the API to allow integration with third-party systems. So just to briefly elaborate on that, let's take, for example, quantifying the recording data that they've got. Transcription's a big thing. So we've got an integration with a speech transcription partner called CallJourney, and that allows us to capture the audio using Clarify Go, pass that data to CallJourney, who would then transcribe it and analyze the data. And then it can also go from CallJourney into Microsoft Insights, and that will allow the customer to analyze that data, quantify it, and look at patterns of behavior within a customer's call center, for example, and work on improving trends, improving patterns to generate measured success. So by building up the API, we're expanding our integrations with third parties. Another example we've done recently is we've launched our partnership with Roger 365, which is a certified call center application that works with Microsoft Teams. And that allows playback of the customer's recordings taken using Clarify Go within the Roger 365 platform. So we essentially hyperlink the call record in Roger 365, and that launches the playback of the recording. The API we'd like to leverage and integrate with other call center platforms. I think if you look at the Microsoft website, there's around 10 or 15 call center partners. And that technology that we've built into the API would allow us to offer a similar solution potentially for the other call center platforms that maybe don't have an integration for the playback of recordings, which is something customers like. Moving on from that, we've got some work we're going to do to smoothen out and ease the procurement process. So that's going to start with the building of a self-serve demo system. So we really want, like any SaaS solution, we really want customers to be able to purchase the solution as seamlessly as possible. And at the moment, we have sales staff that are more than willing to give customers demonstrations using a demo platform that we host in-house. But some work we're doing is going to allow us to more easily publish that demo platform and make it self-serve so that customers can actually play with what looks like a live system. And that will be the same for partners as well. So if a partner wants to be able to show a customer quickly and easily what Clarify Go looks like, at the moment, they can use some YouTube videos or they can contact their account manager, but in future we'll be making use of a platform called Novatic, which allows us to build out a demo system for all of our products that's much, much easier for a customer to use or a partner to use without having to install any kind of complex components on laptops and so on. And the ease of procurement moves on to the actual consumption of the licenses. So we're still probably a bit too dependent on what a typical on-prem CapEx sale would look like. So we're still getting purchase orders sent to resellers or partners who are then sending the purchase orders on to us. Ideally, what we'd like to do is launch a pay-as-you-go model that really is billed based on the consumption by the consumer. And it will open up the licenses and effectively bill the customer based on the number of users they have in the compliance recording policy on Teams, for example. So it won't be dependent on any paper trail. It won't be dependent on a limited number of licenses that they may have purchased. It will simply be down to the customer to be able to add users into a user group within Teams, and we would then record those users and bill the partner based on the consumption. So the easier we can make that, the quicker the adoption is. It's something we're hoping to launch in the next 6 months. And then finally, in addition to feature improvements, I'm not going to go into them now, but I'll be happy to tell any partner in more detail what they are. There's some work on the Clarify PCI for 8x8 application that we developed. So within our call recorder, we've always had the ability to recognize URLs of payment systems. And that allows us to stop and start recording when a customer is taking a payment. And it helps with PCI compliance because card details aren't stored in the recording platform. Now, on some telephony platforms, the only options the customer has are either to manually stop and start the recording when a payment is being spoken by a caller, or to invest in a fully PCI compliant cloud-based solution, which tends to take the card details of DTMF tones, but they can be quite costly, and sometimes for a SMB business, SMB business, the overhead of that is too big. So with Clarify PCI for 8x8, we unbolted the technology from our own call recorder, and we essentially send stop and start commands to the native recording platform within 8x8. So instead of telling our own call recording system to stop and start recording, we're actually telling the cloud-based telephony platform's call recording system to stop and start. And that's really powerful because it's a very cost-effective application that helps customers be PCI compliant by allowing them to take payments with the assurance that the card details aren't being stored in the call recording platform. And we want to build that out, look at new integrations, look at other telephony platforms that have an API that enable us to further develop that application so that we can offer similar functionality on those platforms. So that will probably take us up to the end of 2023. Certainly the integrations with 8x8, Zoom, RingCentral, and as well as any others that are leaders in the marketplace, are what we're going to heavily focus on. And hopefully, by the end of the year, we'll have a cloud-based solution that not only works on Microsoft Teams, but can also record and ingest recordings from all of those other platforms.
It sounds like you're going to have a very busy year, which is great for you and great for your partners. And I appreciate you coming on and taking us through it.
No problem.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. And thank you everyone for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to follow more of the action with the hashtag BigUC Partner Update. And we'll see you next time.
Thanks, Tom. Bye, everyone.